Hey folks, it's Brian. I need a shave. Just finished up playing another session of Runequest Roleplaying in Glorantha. It's my A Stranger in a Strange Land campaign, which is campaign 2, if you're following my stuff. As a warning, spoilers, we are running a scenario based on Cattle Raid out of the Game Master Adventures. I say based on because you'll see at the end of actually this session some significant difference. Also, in the description is the link to live play. However, we took a break near the end where I paused the video, but I forgot to restart it when we started playing. And so it restarts with us just doing our BS stuff after the session is over. When I noticed, hey, we're recording. What happened? Oh no, I missed all this stuff. So we missed the last couple of melee rounds of action and the cliffhanger we ended the session on. But anyway, the characters are in Clearwine with Hiortalar. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, the young man who came from the Varmandi clan, looking for help. So the party's with him, traveling across the clan lands. It takes them a day and a half to get to Swanton, according to my calculations. And so there's some, Q&A kind of stuff to go along with, as they're traveling around. It's late in sea season. Those scenarios not written that way, but in my campaign it is. It's late in sea season. So the Varmandi clan in the spring, taking their cattle out, let them do their thing, so you get some calvings going on. Maybe they do that in the fall, and the calves come in the spring. That may be the calves come in the spring. So they're out to calve the cattle that they can, and another piece where I changed from is the number of cattle that have been killed, and there's reasons for that. So significantly more cattle than what's in the scenario have been slaughtered by these monsters, because it's been going on for a few weeks. And the party had a few questions, not a whole lot. I seeded some more information, and then they spend the night in Swanton. Next morning they get out and head off to hook up with the rest of the herders actually watching the cattle. They get there midday. Oh, there was some rained when they got there that night. The next morning there's some flurries of snowish kind of stuff happening, and they head off into the hills. I catch up with the rest of the herders, and there's some further discussion there about, okay, so why did the Varmandi come to the Queen for help? Don't you guys have warriors? Well, they're a small clan, plus they've got a lot of banditry and stuff they're dealing with. And then some verbiage there about the Arleving clan, and some other bits and pieces that pop out about a troll bandit in the Rainbow Mounds. Another piece off because this is written like Rainbow Mounds and Apple Lane stuff happened, years ago. But in my world, they haven't happened yet, because my players are going to go through that, at least have the opportunity. So instead of, there used to be, there's rumors that there are, troll bandits out there, that kind of thing. So threw some of that stuff out, and then they have, specific questions about, when was the last time that had this happen? How often does it happen? It happens, sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week. Average about once every 3 to 4 days, kind of thing. Another reason that the warriors weren't so interested in coming out here is they saw the size of these paw prints. And 3 days ago was the last time there was an attack. And so some of them were thinking, well, let's just go back to where they were and only see these tracks. we could run out there, look at tracks, and run back, and maybe back by nightfall. So let's not bother with that. So they figure, okay, it's about time for another attack anyway. So they set up a little a night watch kind of thing. They pair up one of the party members with one of the herders for 5 watches in the night for about an hour and a half each, kind of thing. First night goes by, nothing happened. Second night goes by. Oh, and I had 2 of my players not be able to come out tonight. One works with stuff going on in DC, and he just was not able to, bring himself together because he's not getting enough sleep, and he's got to go back again tomorrow and that kind of stuff. So he wasn't able to make it. And then another one had something go wrong with their car at work today, and kind of overstressed them. And I'm not into playing. Sorry, guys. So I was down. I was short 2 players, both of which, well, one's their archer, and the other's another heavy fighter. And so they have some significant firepower they can bring to the scenario. So I didn't want to get too far, but I was going to, take it along as far as I could. So anyway, it was the second or the third watch that second watch, Angrilar and I forgot her name. Shoot. It's like Kareen. Yareen. Were on post together, so they're out just walking around, keeping track of the cattle as they're sleeping and watching for things, right? And she makes her scan roll, and Anglar missed his. I saw something out there. I saw some movement. So they start heading that way, and she's trying to point stuff out. And he still can't see it. They get a little closer, and then he sees something. And so he sticks his torch down into the ground. Would it really stick? No, probably not. But it's kind of wet, so maybe a little bit. And backs up and starts banging his sword against his shield. One, to try and scare, assuming it's the saber-toothed cat, scare it away. And 2, to warn everybody else, hey, get up, we got stuff going on. So one of the players wakes up that first round and starts waking everybody else up. They discuss real quickly about how much armor, how long will it take to get armor on, and how what are we sleeping with, and that kind of thing. Some sidebar stuff to discuss because I do allow a certain amount of sleeping in armor. Plate probably not, even with the Van Braces agrees, but leather definitely. Maybe even Kerbal Van Braces agrees, but not armor, that kind of thing. So Lars has like a leather coat. Not a problem, it's cold. Keep that warmed up. Arrestor grabs her battle axe and shield and throws on her helmet. And then, the 2 players were there, Subutai and Sandor. We thankfully didn't have to bring the actual play, so I don't know what they're wearing, but they would have got up and came out with them. So Lars jumps on his horse, Vassander's on his bison, and everybody else is on foot as they go out. And they're heading that way. Now, I probably should have had Lars and Vassander show up. Just random roll, how far away is things happening? 6 rounds. So they should have been there in 3 rounds. Everybody else got there in 6, but try and keep them together. Angrilar and Yareen have got 6 melee rounds to fight off the Orleving warlord and his second in command, who are on horses. And a handful of foot guys behind him. So he does his bang thing. 2 people on horseback come up, and the Orleving warlord guy, gives a spiel. You Vermandi folks, run along home. Leave our cattle alone, and all will go well with you, kind of thing. Scat. And Angrilar's having none of that. So he makes a snide remark at at the captain, and the captain just, oh, that's it. Takes off with a run on his horse. So he comes onto the combat map on his horse. His second command, wait a second. So he's around behind him, and the players pretty much got their weapons out. And the mounted rules, I did not actually review the RQG mounted rules. I'm just remembering some stuff from RQ3 and my own fancy trip house rules kind of stuff that I apply. So I'm thinking he's going to come ride by, take a swipe at him. And, the horse is 2 hexes, so he could be in the front hex or back hex. And by maybe around 6, which is his strike rank for his sword, back in the horse is there. He's leaning back, doing a swipe at the guy. But there are engagement rules, right? And in my house rules for multi-hex creatures, you have to have more than half their hexes worth of engagement to engage them. So it's made for a 3-hex creature, right? If you've got a giant who's a 3-hex creature, comes up, he can ignore one guy, just run over him. If you got 2, then he gets engaged, that kind of deal. But a horse is a 2-hex creature, so one person would engage a 2-hex because they're 1-hex piece creatures, and a 2-hex would engage a 2-hex. But if you've ever seen a horse, there's a reason the mounted police in New York City are on horses. They just walk over people, knock them over. Horses are 2,000 pounds. You're not going to stop that by being in their way, that kind of thing. So I may have to rethink some of this. But I had him engaged as soon as he got with the PC, so he stopped. He's attacking down. Ingrillar's attacking up. Girl's got her spear. She does Blade Sharp 2 and starts jamming up at him. I forgot the Blade Sharp 2. She would have been hitting every time because she missed by less than 10% every time. I actually had the player roll the dice for her, so I'm not rolling all the dice for everybody. And so he's up on his horse, striking down. The other girl, his sidekick, his number 2, gets in there on horse, is striking down, but got this whole ride versus weapon thing going on. And the second in command's a Humakti, so she's doing Blade Sharp 4. She's coming in, and so she's really hampered by trying to do this horse thing. Excuse me. Doing the ride thing. So after a couple rounds, I realized this is just bad. Jump off the horse, get it out of the way, start nailing this guy. Because there's lots of parrying and attacks going on, but not a lot of damage going on. Once she's down, though, she does get a special on him. It gets through his shield, puts his arm below 0. He does Cure Wounds the next round, gets it back up. And actually is hitting on her. He was fighting the captain at first, but the captain's he's up on the horse, right? So while the RQG rules say that an 18 is ahead, or is that reversed? I forgot. But anyway, the way I do hit locations for mounted or large against small kind of things is that if they're up, just roll a d10 for location. If they're down, you roll a d10 plus 10. Because if there's somebody down, you're going to hit in the head all the freaking time. Or majority of the time. And if you're hitting up, it's hard to hit somebody in the chest. Abdomen, definitely. Legs, all the time. That kind of thing. So, that's how I handled it out. But he hit the guy in the leg. He's got 6 points of armor. All got absorbed. I was like, I can't get through that. The girl's wearing Kerboli, so okay, I'll fight her. So Ingrillar's fighting her. The girl with the spears fighting the guy. And like I said, she kept missing all those. She probably would have been hitting with those. But still, I probably would have. A d6 plus 1 plus 2 is really not going to be getting through much. But possible. As they were riding up, they both cast Strength, plus she had the Blade Sharp. I don't think he did Blade Sharp, did he? No, he just did his Strength. My goodness, excuse me. So, they're doing extra damage. And There is a modifier to hit. He's got Shimmer on, so there's a balance out there. And plus with the strength, it gives him a bonus, and so that's actually what cancels it out. But she's got the Blade Sharp bonus, so she's got a much better skill to attack and stuff. But Anglar ended up getting a critical on her. She was able to parry, but Anglar did, like 20 points of damage to her. 12 points take the shield down to 0. The other 8 get through to her arm, which holds 4. So is it actually 10 points got through? Maybe did 22. 10 points got through though, right? No arm protection because of the crit, so her arm goes to -4 because it can only take up to double damage. So she loses 8 hit points. Her arm's at -4. And at this point, the party at the end of this round shows up. Lars gets to a certain point. He wants to come around towards the guy that's mounted and wants to lean over, grapple him, and take him to the ground on the far side of his horse, using his momentum, that kind of thing. The Vasander, the Buffalo Rider, they want to have him head off towards the back to where the scattering of infantry guys are. Subutai, they've got off to the north to shoot at the guys in the far back. He actually should have been shooting, maybe not from the first round, but he probably should have done a shot every round kind of thing. Shoot, run up, shoot, run up, shoot, run up. So I may have him do that when he gets back around to see if he hit anybody in the back. And then Arestra's going right for the girl. And when the lieutenant, the number 2, got off her horse, she kind of walked it around behind her kind of thing, get away, so she could move up and engage. And so the horse is just walking off. Boop, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. Strike rank 12. Everybody's in place, and the saber-toothed cat, the Sakaar, leaps out of the darkness onto the horse, knocks it flat, bites its chest in half, or its back in half. Everybody hears the horse squeal and scream and die. Everybody turns. A normal Sakaar, or saber-toothed cat, is a 2-hex creature. This is where we're transitioning from pre-made scenario stuff to my campaign. This saber-toothed cat is 4 hexes. It is a size 32. It is huge, and that's where we ended the session. Everybody seeing the saber-toothed cat kill this horse in 1 round. It was great. And then they start freaking out, and you'll hear this on the audio if you watch the live play. What are we gonna do against this thing? It's huge. We don't have that kind of magic. It's gonna take a lot of huge magic to take this thing out, and very possibly. In fact, Lars made a quote from the Battle of 5 Armies. "Oh, come, my friend, let us turn and attack this common foe." So we'll see how things go. That's how I had actually planned, is because the scenario set up that the normal saber-toothed cats attack, the party takes them out, and then these guys from the Orleving clan come and make their blustering thing about taking up. This is our cattle, it's on our lands. Get out of here, kind of thing. But instead, I had them come in first, do some fighting and stuff, and then the first cat come in and make a show. So hopefully, with everybody there, although the party is pretty much unarmored, which is not good. The raiding clan guys obviously are armored because they're ready for this kind of thing. And it was too late in the watch for the second watch guys or the first watch guys to be armored up still. So we'll see how all that plays out. They're talking about just turn and run, and hopefully that the cat will be satisfied with the horse and then just leave. We'll have to wait and see. Happy gaming.